أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي اللهم أخرجنا من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمنا بنور الفهم وافتح علينا بمعرفة العلم وسهل أخلاقنا بالحلم واجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه اللهم اجعل أعمالنا خالصة لوجهك ولا تجعل فيها حظا لغيرك وصل اللهم على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How's everyone today? So I get no feedback today. Okay. I made it such that Alhamdulillah. But I made it such that you can unmute yourself. Please don't unmute yourself unnecessarily. But if you do want to ask any questions or share any feedback or anything like that, then don't hesitate to unmute yourself. Or if you want, you can drop something in the chat box, or you can put your hand up and then I will acknowledge you and you can speak, inshallah. Right. Alhamdulillah. I hope the cold weather's been good to you. And as you're fresh enough to do some Arabic this morning, inshallah. So we were busy with Man Kasra al-Asnam. Just get me right here. We did the end of chapter 4 in our groups last week. We were busy with chapter 5, right? And what we are supposed to do is just remind me quickly. I'm supposed to. Did we go through the second page of chapter 4 together in the class already?
Yes, Mulana, the first page of chapter 5 was homework.
Okay, first page of chapter 5 was homework. So what we'll do is, inshallah, we're going to read the first page of chapter 5 together, inshallah. We'll go through the meanings. If you have any questions, we'll deal with those questions, inshallah. Then we'll break away to our groups to deal with the second page of chapter 5. And we'll come back, have some more questions, inshallah. And then move on to Quran, bismillah ta'ala. Right, so what you can do is, I'm going to read chapter 5. You can read it with me. And just see if you have your translations correctly as well. Right. من فعل هذا? Who did this? ورجع الناس ودخلوا في بيت الأصنام. The people returned and entered the house of the idols. وأراد الناس أن يسجدوا للأصنام لأنه يوم عيد. The idols wanted to prostrate, the people wanted to prostrate to the idols because it was the day of celebration. If I'm going too fast, just tell me, please. You can send me a private message also if you want to. But yeah. And also, if you have any question at any point by any of the sentences, just stop me, please. This is more like a tutorial type period, so interaction is very, very important. I'm going to say this one again. وَأَرَادَ النَّاسُ أَن يَسْجُدُوا لِلْأَصْنَامِ. The people wanted to prostrate to the idols لِأَنَّهُ يَوْمُ عِيدٍ, because it was the day of celebration. Line number 3. ولكن تعجب الناس ودهشوا وتأسف الناس وغضبوا. But the people were surprised, or the people became surprised and dumbfounded. وتأسف الناس وغضبوا, and the people became sad and angry. Line number 4. قالوا من فعل هذا بآلهتنا. They said, who did this to our idols? من فعل هذا, who did this بآلهتنا, to our idols.
Mulana, is it idols or gods?
Sorry, gods, yes, correct. Um, gods, correct. We have a hand, Nabila Palika. Bismillah, you can unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Um, Paulina, I want to know what the exact meaning of لأنه is.
Okay. لأنه, right, are actually three huruf. Oh, it's two huruf and one pronoun. There's the li, there's anna, and there's who. Those are all three. Let me just see if I can write on here. No. Okay. There's we have three huruf over there. Sorry, not three huruf. There's two huruf, and one is a damir or pronoun. So we have li, we have anna, we have who. Li literally means for, um, or it's oftentimes used also to indicate what we call in Arabic ta'lil, to give a reason. And anna means that. So if you were to just look at them as individual huruf, then it will mean for that. Um, but obviously, in Arabic, the explanation, if you were to check what li'anna means in an Arabic dictionary, then you would find there that it's the purpose of it is to give ta'lil or to give you a reason. And that's why I translated it as because. Li'anna. The who is separate. The who um, is a pronoun or damir. Have you guys learned what about damair in Nahu?
Yes, Mulana.
You learned about damair, right? So the damir can either be attached or detached. Here we have an attached pronoun, who, which means it or he. Um, right, and what we actually call this, yeah. Okay, I don't want to go into the specific type of pronoun as we have here just yet. We'll come across that at another time, inshallah. But li'anna is two separate huruf. Li, for, anna, that. When put together, they serve the purpose in Arabic of giving you ta'lil or giving you a reason. And that's why we translate it into English as because. Is that sufficient?
كثير شكرا.
Fine. Okay. Okay. قالوا من فعل بآلهتنا. They said, who did this to our gods? آلهة, um, آلهة is the plural of the word ilahun. So the singular form of آلهة is ilahun. And ilahun, when, like, I don't know what people understand when they say gods or deities, or oftentimes those are words that we don't really use. Like the only people that use that words are Muslims when they translate in the Quran. So just to convey an understanding of what it is, an ilah is an object of worship, right? It is a thing to which we direct worship. For example, like in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the polytheists in Mecca, they did believe in Allah. Like if the Quran is replete with reference to the fact that the Quran says, if you ask them, the mushrikeen, the polytheists of Mecca, who created the heavens and the earth, they would say it's Allah. That's what the Quran says. However, they had set up these smaller gods as intermediaries to Allah. Right? So they wouldn't have conceived of these idols as khaliqs or creators or anything like that, but they conceived of them as objects of worship, something to which you direct worship. So that's what an aliha is, just so that you know. Okay, that is a bit of a digression, but it's an important word to know because we're going to come across it. It's an important uh, concept in terms of the Muslim belief of Tawheed. So it's good to know. قالوا من فعل هذا بآلهتنا. They said, who did this to our gods? قالوا, they said, سمعنا فتى يذكرهم. I'm going to translate this one in pieces because this is a very complex sentence over here. قالوا سمعنا فتى يذكرهم يقال له إبراهيم. Somebody tell me, how did you translate this? Before I give you the translation. Whoever's confident in the translation.
I have it, Mulana, as they said we heard a young boy broke them. They call him Ibrahim.
Fairly good, mashallah. But not broke them. Where do you have broke? يذكر.
Yadhkuru.
ذكر يذكر. ذكر.
Yes. Yeah. Oh.
What's ذكر? To mention.
Uh,
To mention or to remember, right?
okay.
So your translation was good, mashallah. They said, we heard, سمعنا, we heard, فتى, fata means a young boy, we heard a young boy, يذكرهم. ذكر يذكر, from ذكر, to remember or to mention, we heard a young boy mentioning them. Just if you want, anybody have any question there? You see, we have a past tense verb, right? And then a present tense verb. Can you see that? Let me just see if I can annotate on this thing. Okay. Okay. So can you see that we have a past tense verb? And then we have a present tense verb. So and yeah, we had it before as well. We had arada nasu. Okay, no, that's not exactly the same. Do we have it before? No. So tell me, how do you think we're going to translate this? A past tense verb followed by a present tense verb. We heard a young boy, يذكرهم.
Mentioning or saying?
Yeah, good. So in terms of, if you want to just put it into a technical term, what's it going to mean? We're going to say it's past, but continuous tense. We heard him in the past mentioning them. Right? If anybody has any question, you can raise a question. I repeat that. When I have a present tense verb preceded by a past tense verb, or I have a past, in other words, I have a past tense verb, and then following that, I have a present tense verb, right? Then the whole sentence is in the past tense. The whole sentence is in the past tense, and I understand the present tense verb to just imply continuation, right? So they said, we heard a young boy mentioning them. يقال له إبراهيم. قال يقول means to say. This is the majhul form of the verb. You did do majhul, but this one might look a bit funny, right? This one might look a bit funny because it's supposed to be قاول يقول قويل يقول. But instead of saying that, it doesn't sound too nice. So we just say, instead of saying يقول, we just say يقال. That's a weak letter verb, but we'll do that. We'll deal with that in due time as well, inshallah. Right? يقال, it was said, له, for him, Ibrahim. Ibrahim. Or in other words, Ibrahim was said for him. Is everybody following me there?
Well, I'm having a hard time making a coherent English sentence out of that. I understand the individual components, but to slap it together is a bit hard.
Okay, now stay here with me. You just put your mic off. I want to ask you some questions. Okay. you have يقال, right? You understand that's a majhul verb. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Right? You guys did that. Majhul verb. Now when you have a majhul verb, right? Firstly, I just want to go through this slowly so that everybody can benefit, inshallah. When you have a majhul verb, you're looking for, are you going to look for the fa'il?
Yes. Yes, Maulana.
Majhul. What does it mean? What does it mean when we say it's majhul?
Because unknown. The dua is
Unknown.
unknown.
The dua is unknown. So how can we look for the dua?
Yeah.
We're not going to look for the dua. We're going to look for the done upon, but we're going to look for it the same way like we look for the dua.
Oh.
So we're going to do ilai. Right. So let's do ilai. Is there anything?
Just repeat quickly, Maulana, please. Repeat that quickly.
Okay. When we have a majhul verb, the meaning of a verb being majhul means that the dua is not mentioned. Right?
Yes.
Right. So if the dua is not mentioned, we're not going to look for the dua. We know it's not going to be mentioned. So what we are going to do is we're going to look for the done upon. Right? We're going to look for the done upon. But we look for it the same way that we usually look for the dua. So usually, how do we look for the dua? We do ilai. Right? So
Yes.
here we're going to do ilai, but we're not going to be looking for the dua. We're going to be looking for the done upon. Okay, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Sorry, my handwriting is, I know. Let me just. ضرب زيد عمرا. What does that mean? Zaid hit Amr. Right?
Yes,
I have a
Maulana.
verb. Daraba means to hit. I need to find the fa'il. So how do? I first look at the end of it. Daraba is a standard form, so there's nothing there. Then I look to the left. What's on the left? Zaidun. And it's in a raf. So Zaid is going to be my fa'il. Zaid hit. Who did Zaid hit? Zaid hit Amran. He's the maf'ul is in nasb. People can drop me some messages in the chat just to see if, just so that I know that you're following me. Okay. But now, what if I want to say, I don't want to say that Zaid hit Amr. I want to not mention the dua. What will I do then?
Duriba.
All right. The first thing is when you don't want to mention the dua, you have to change the form of the verb. Right? To majhul. So I change it to duriba. Duriba. And now duriba what?
Amr.
Zaidun. Or
Remember?
Amrun.
Who's being Amr? Correct.
Amrun. Amrun.
Is it Amrun or Amran?
Amran.
No, Amrun. You said it's the same way.
Amrun, yes, correct. That's correct. That's what I wanted to point out. So, in the first sentence, Amr had he was the done upon and he had a fathatain. He was in nasb, right? Yeah, when I have a majhul verb, he's still the done upon, but now he takes the place of the fa'il because he's not going to be a fa'il in the sentence.
So, Mulano, is he still termed a maf'ulun bihi?
No.
Because it must be in nasb.
Yes, we call it the na'ibul fa'il. What that means is, that just means, sound like a fancy new term, all that it means is the replacement for the dua or the substitute for the dua.
Oh, okay.
like for example, if you have a president of a country, you might call him a rais, and then the deputy president you call him a naib. So this guy here is the naib fa'il. He's the deputy fa'il because the fa'il is not there. He's not going to be there. So he's just deputizing. What he does is he takes his rough cap.
So he has the qualities of the fa'il, but it's
Yes, but he's actually the done upon
done upon. Okay.
in terms of meaning. Okay. So now let's go back to our reader. يقال له إبراهيم. I have the verb يقال. I said that it's majhul. Right? Now I have a question. Who is this naib, this majhul verb? Who is it done to? How am I going to look for it? I'm going to do Eli. Right? So help me. Is there anything on yuqalu?
No.
No. So then I look, if there's nothing on, then I look to the
Left.
left. So what's on the left?
The lahu Ibrahimu. So it'll be Ibrahim.
Firstly, there's lahu, but that's a jar wa majrur. When we're doing Eli, we just skip over that. Right? So what am I left with?
Ibrahim. Mu.
Ibrahimu. And you can see it's in raf, right?
Yep. Okay.
So this is the naibul fa'il of yuqalu. So how am I going to translate it? Ibrahim was said lahu for him.
For him. So okay. So Maulana, that makes sense. But how does in like a conversational English, how would one say that? Because that seems a bit odd.
He was called Ibrahim.
Okay.
You know, a good way of telling you this is giving you the Afrikaans translation. Hulle het vir hom Ibrahim geskree.
Maar Maulana, I don't know Afrikaans.
Astaghfirullah. Nah,
One
then
language at a time.
Maulana as well, that the part of mentioning them, that also doesn't sound from an English point of view. Is it mentioning to them?
Where is this?
Where is this now? Yadkuruhum.
No.
So we said,
The whom here is referring to the idols.
okay,
So he, okay, you want to go through that word again, please?
yes, please.
Okay. So we're just going to go back a step. Yadhkuruhum. Who's the fa'il of yadhkuru? Let's do Eli. Firstly, we look at the end of it. Is there anything on the end?
No.
No.
No. Right. Then we look to the left. Is there anything on the left?
No.
No.
No. Some people may be thinking there's this whom, but when you have an attached pronoun to a verb, that's not going to be it, right? That's
So
going
that's
to be your
inside.
done. Right. So then it has to be inside. What's inside yadhkuru? Dhakara yadhkuru. That's the
Huwa.
standard one. Huwa. Right. And who's the huwa going to refer to?
The idols.
No. Who's doing the remembering, the mentioning?
Or the young boy.
The young boy. Right. So it's inside here is a huwa, and it refers to this fatan. Now, what is he mentioning? What is the young boy mentioning? What is it that he's mentioning? He was mentioning the idols, meaning he was speaking about them.
Oh, so the them is the idols.
The them, remember, whenever you have a pronoun, it must refer to something.
Okay.
Right? So we said the huwa refers to the boy and the whom refers to the idols.
Okay. Okay. Then that makes sense.
Now you may think, okay, but before we were treating the idols as a singular feminine, isn't it? Right. But in the who's speaking here? Qalu, they, the idol worshippers, they said, we heard a young boy mentioning them. A young boy is Ibrahim alayhi salam mentioning them. So it's from the perspective of the idol worshippers, they viewed the idols as things with consciousness. Right? Otherwise, they wouldn't ask of them and they wouldn't think them to be intermediaries, etc. So that's why they refer to them not as singular feminine, but rather as masculine plural, because they're not treating them as inanimate objects. If I'm going too fast, if I'm explaining too much, just please tell me, right? I want everybody on board. They said, we heard a young boy mentioning them, the idols. يقال له Ibrahim. Ibrahim was said for him. Or, in better English, he was called Ibrahim. Yeah, or they said Ibrahim for him. Yeah, they said Ibrahim for him. In other words, they called him Ibrahim. I can, to be honest with you, I can't actually think of any better way to explain it than just telling you the Afrikaans. But
It's almost like they refer to him as Ibrahim.
They refer to him as Ibrahim. Yes, that's good. That's good. They refer to him as Ibrahim. قالوا, okay, move on to the next sentence. Number 6. قالوا, they said. Who's saying now again? Still the idol worshippers. أأنت فعلت هذا بآلهتنا? When I put at the beginning of a sentence, what does it do?
Question.
Makes it into a question, right? Okay, so now what I want you to do is just ignore for me that first Just ignore it for me. So translate. أنت فعلت هذا. أنت, you, فعلت, فعل, فعلوا, فعلت, فعلت, فعلنا, فعلت, you did. So أنت فعلت, you did هذا, this, بآلهتنا, with our gods. Now let's make that into a question. أأنت فعلت هذا بآلهتنا? Did you do this to our gods? Ya Ibrahim. Oh, Ibrahim. Okay, any questions there?
Maulana, I had a question about the word anta.
Okay.
I was unfamiliar with what's happening there. If you could please explain that.
Okay. There's two words, separate words here. There's first which simply is the Arabic equivalent of a question mark. Like if you go to the Quran, this is a verse of the Quran, you're not going to find this thing over here.
Yeah.
Tell me if you ever saw a question mark in the Quran, because then I need to.
Not in my Mus'haf, no.
Yeah, you're not going to find it in any Mus'haf. Classical Arabic, we didn't use any punctuation marks or anything like that. Right? So the Arabic equivalent of a question mark, or one of them at least, would be to just put at the beginning of the sentence.
Okay.
Right? You following there?
Yes.
So then after that, the word anta is just a damir. So it's a noun, a pronoun. You.
Okay.
Do you know that? Do you know the pronouns? Huwa.
I'm pulling up my Nahu book.
So this is the detached pronoun, Maulana.
That's the detached pronoun.
Okay.
That's the detached pronoun. Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Anta.
Okay. That makes sense.
But you may think to yourself, well, why did we need to say the anta there? Because doesn't fa'alta already mean you did?
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
For example, fa'alta means you did. So
Yes.
why do I need to say you did?
Emphasis.
It's just for emphasis, yeah. To emphasize that the focus is on you. Did you do this to our idols? Did you do this? So the emphasis in the sentence is not on doing, but the emphasis is on accusing you. Right? So that's why the anta is mentioned individually, and then it's included in the verb that came after that. It's just for emphasis, right?
Okay.
Could you ask,
What verses of the Quran is this from? From what surah?
Anbiya.
After.
Surah Anbiya, I think.
Maulana, could you have said fa'alta then?
You could have said that, yes. Afa'alta. You could have said that. But then the emphasis wouldn't have been on you. It would have been on, did you do this? the emphasis would have been more on the verb aspect of it, on the doing. I don't know if that makes sense, but just to emphasize the fact that you're accusing you, that is mentioned individually. But if you had said afa'alta, it would have made perfect sense.
Okay.
Maulana, just a
But
question. Can I ask, if you say afa'alta, can you translate it as, and so you did that?
No,
The fa? Can't you say that?
no, then you would have to say fa'alta.
That's what, oh, double. I see.
Two fa'als. You see, because this fire is part of the verb fa'ala.
Ah. Yeah,
So
I
if
mean
they
so.
actually-
Maaf,
Yeah.
I mean so.
Yes, yes.
As the lady said now, afa'alta, but I thought if you say a double F, a double fa, then it is a different context.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but I
Okay.
heard he said afa'alta, that is perfectly right, as you explained, sorry.
Yes. That will work. If you say fa'alta, then if you say fa'alta, it will mean something completely different. It will mean then or so you did.
Hmm.
All right?
Okay.
But it will mean something different.
Shukran.
Afwan. Okay. So they said, did you do this to our idols, O Ibrahim? Okay, now we move on to the next page. Oh. Okay, what I want you to do now is, inshallah, we're going to break into our groups. Sister Zilin, if you can just put everybody into the groups. I want you to just work on the first 3 lines of page number 10, right? Just the first 3 lines, and then we're going to come back, inshallah. I want to have a bit more time for the Quran. Idhnillah ta'ala. So, Sister Zilin, you're putting them in the groups?
Maulana, just to quickly, we mentioned it in the chat, it might be load shedding at 12 o'clock in, I think, in our areas here, Athlone, Crawford area.
Okay, I'll see how many people come back.
Okay, we'll see. I'm giving you the heads up. It might happen.
If you can try and join from your phones or whatever it may be.
But then the Wi-Fi will be down, and we'll try.
Okay,
We'll see, inshallah.
inshallah. All right. All right, so everybody back now. Firstly, before we move on to, are there any questions?
Yeah, Maulana, we were on the on the one we were just discussing the qala bal fa'alahu kabiruhum hada fas'aluhum inna kanu yantikun. Can you give some light on that translation, please? Because not that we weren't sure of some words there, if you don't mind.
Okay. What I'm going to do is, because this could open up another whole discussion. I'm not going to get into that now. What I'll do is I'll just give you a translation now, inshallah. Right?
Yeah.
So the verse means qala, he said, referring to Ibrahim alayhi salam. He, Ibrahim alayhi salam, said, bal fa'ala. Okay. I can actually translate this sentence in a number of ways, depending on where I pause. So I can translate it, قال بل فعله. Rather, he did it. كبيرهم هذا فاسألوهم. This big one of them, so ask them, إن كانوا ينطقون, if they can speak. Or if they used to speak.
Maulana Maaf, where does bal come in?
Bal means rather.
Oh, it's rather, not nay.
No. That's bala.
Oh, Maaf.
Small difference in wording, but it's a big difference in meaning. That's bala. Bala means is a positive response to a negative question, right? So if somebody asks you, did you not do this? And then you can say bala, that will mean I did do it. Rather, here we have bal. Bal means rather. So another way of translating would be قال بل فعله كبيرهم هذا. He said, rather, this big one, or this big one of them, did it. فاسألوهم, so ask them, إن كانوا ينطقون, if they used to speak or if they could speak.
Shukran, Maulana.
Afwan.
Maulana, how would you know where to put the pause?
How would you know where to put the pause? Yeah, you're actually deciding the pause based on meaning.
Okay.
Yeah, you're deciding the pause based on meaning, so it's part of tafsir. It's not just a normal Arabic language thing, right? You can see this is a Quran ayah, and what I explained to you now are different ways of translating the verse that Mufassirin have offered. So that's not a simple thing related to just language. That's got to do with looking maybe at other hadith and other reports, etc. That's going to decide how we do that. But when we have a normal English sentence or a normal Arabic sentence that's not Quran, then you just interpret it according to the language and finish. Okay, can we move on to our Quran section? Bismillah, we'll do that inshallah. If anybody has any more questions on this, we will do that next week. So what I want you to do for homework regarding this is finish page 10, work on page 10 for homework, inshallah. We'll start off as we did this week, going through it, looking at some questions, and then